In my early studies, I complained a lot about Japanese grammar. These sentences seemed complex, backwards really, and there were all of these elements that I didn't understand. Particles, for example, stressed me out. I was mostly studying with traditional textbooks back then. I wish I could have studied with this course. Bunkai Beast is a minutely detailed look at the building blocks of Japanese sentences. Specifically, we cover the order of words in Japanese sentences, the surprisingly simple structure of conversational Japanese, particles with a special emphasis on the difference between wa and ga, different types of adjectives, verb classes and conjugations, the difference between transitive and intransitive verbs, the list goes on. Hearing that, one might think that this course is only for beginners. I would disagree. Calling this an introductory grammar course is misleading. Instead of saying it covers beginner's grammar, it would be more accurate to just say you don't need to have any knowledge of Japanese grammar to take this course. Aside from hiragana and katakana, you don't need to know any Japanese, period. But intermediate and advanced learners should study this grammar course before any others, too. Take my case, for example. It has been quite a few years since I passed JLPT N1, since I got my first translation job, since I started playing video games and reading novels in Japanese. And yet, I have learned so much from writing the lessons in this course. The linguistic explorations you'll see in Bunkai Beast don't line up with other introductory grammar courses out there. We explore things from a completely different direction. The basic premise is this. Japanese grammar, and especially casual and conversational Japanese grammar, is very simple. It's easier than English grammar. However, explaining the mechanics of Japanese grammar's inherent simplicity is very difficult when you're teaching in languages other than Japanese. As such, I made an audacious assumption when I set out to create this course. I can explain this. Over the last few years, Japanese educators and I have participated in an ongoing dialogue covering the points touched on in Bunkai Beast. This dialogue has followed a frustrating yet rewarding pattern. It went like this. First, I would attempt to explain an aspect of Japanese grammar from a surgically detailed perspective. I would attempt to take a concept as elusive as, say, the difference between the particles wa and ga, and explain it simply enough that even a beginner would understand it. Same for so-called unteachable aspects of this language, like differences between masculine and feminine speech, the nuance of words, and the technically incorrect grammar that is used more commonly than the correct grammar in textbooks. Yeah, so I would write lessons about all of that. Then, a native Japanese educator would read one of these lessons of mine and point out weak points in it. In short, since we were trying to explain these concepts in such a unique way, we ran into all kinds of problems. Wanting to cry, I would then make my way back to the drawing board. I'd rework my explanations and examples and make them better, and after a few cycles of this pattern, we'd end up with an amazing, publishable lesson, something worthy of our fellow students' precious time. And then we repeated that pattern for the last 3 years, over and over and over again, until we had a finished course called Bunkai Beast. I wish I'd had this grammar course when I was a beginner. Actually, I wish I'd had it 5 years ago when I was already considered an advanced student of Japanese, but still had so much to learn. I hope you get a chance to go through this course too. I hope it clears up a massive amount of the confusion you may have regarding Japanese grammar. I know it's done that for me, even at my current level.